Hello my friends and welcome back. I don't know how familiar you are with the Greeks' statements that they will transfer some defense systems, air defense systems S-300 to Ukraine. The government from Athens was talking that, hey, we're going to do this, and the Russians said that's a very dangerous move and it's very risky for you, something like that. Now Lavrov comes out and says, actually, it seems like the Greeks understood the situation and they will not transfer them. But the Russians are monitoring the whole situation. Let's see how they manage to have the Greeks change their mind. This article comes from Al Mayadin. It's from today, the 28th of December 2022. Lavrov says this: Athens says won't transfer S-300s to Kiev. Moscow monitoring. Russia's top diplomat says that European countries have been breaking arms transfer commitments often. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov stated on Wednesday, which is today, that Athens assured Moscow that it is aware of its commitment not to transfer the Russian-made S-300 anti-aircraft systems to other countries. How come Slovakia transferred that battery at the beginning of Ukraine scuffle? Because it did, and the Russians blew it up in the first day that it was deployed. I don't know. So was preparing this. Lavrov said the current media reports have been suggesting that Greece was preparing to send its S-300 systems to Kiev, noting that Russia is closely monitoring Greece to make sure it remains within its contractual obligations. Following the media reports, Russia's ambassador made contact with relevant Greek authorities to remind them of their contract clause, to which, and I'm quoting, they said they were mindful of that, Lavrov said to Russian news outlet Channel 1. There was a story, and I'm quoting, there was a story when they, S-300s, were to be delivered to Cyprus, but then the West started doing everything possible to prevent this. Given the island's position of Cyprus and the fact that it was not a NATO member, a compromise was eventually reached that suited everyone. Greece bought the systems, but according to the contract that sealed this deal, he said, stressing that Greece, I'm quoting, has no right to transfer them, the S-300s, to anyone without our consent, end quote. EU member states, under the pretext of supporting Ukraine, have been breaking commitments on arms transfers, Lavrov added. And I'm quoting, the same problem exists regarding provisions prohibiting the transfer of our weapons to anyone, which applied to most of the armaments that were in Eastern Europe, as they were produced under licenses in former Warsaw Pact countries. So, a contract is a contract. That could be broken. There's no problem with that, I would say. But hey, if the Greeks don't want to have a problem with the Russians, then they will not transfer it. Could they do it illegally? I don't think so, and I don't think they have to do it. If they really want to anger the Russians, just transfer them. But even if they anger the Russians, what could the Russians do? Well, I don't know. We'll find out, and I hope we don't have to find out. And remember, Turkey is also lurking in the dark. So if Athens really wants to anger others too, then so be it. They already angered the Turks to hell. Now they want to destroy any little bit of trust they have with the Russians. That's a different story. They already angered the Iranians with that tanker And if you remember what happened, how the Iranians retaliated against the Greeks, and then they were start, you know what I mean? Then they should try and see how the Russians retaliate. There is not going to be any, obviously, any military retaliation or anything, but I guess there are some kind of aspects we are not aware of, or maybe we are, but I hope they don't get that point. That's my bottom line. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.